So, welcome everybody who's watching this awkward YouTube video. Josh and I have been flirting for the good 5 minutes. Um, Basically, I got Josh here from Blimey Cow, and Jordan blew me off, and Kelly was like, I got other things to do. So, Josh is the only one available, and that's where we're at. So, I got some questions from our Facebook page. I got some questions from other people on um, that I work with, and I made up some questions on my own. But really, so first, I guess, who is Blimey Cow? Because some people don't know who you are, including my brother and sister, and I was embarrassed.
Well, tell your brother and sister. We're a YouTube channel. We started in 2005, and we weren't originally on YouTube. We switched over to YouTube in 2006, and kind of just made home videos for a while, just funny stuff uh, that we enjoyed making, and we kind of dropped off the planet with it for a long time and didn't really pick it back up until 2011 when we started a show called Messy Mondays, and we've been doing that for a little over 3 years now, and that's kind of when we started to pick up an audience, and it's been pretty fun. So we're just kind of coasting and just continuing to post a couple of videos every week, and people seem to still enjoy it, so we keep doing it.
So I guess I saw the video on. Well, the next question will kind of answer where I saw the video from. But there's a video, old video, where the word "Blimey Cow" was said, and apparently you guys just took hold of that and ran with it.
Yeah, well,
Why?
we had come up with the phrase before we ever shot any videos. I don't even know how we came up with that name. To be honest, it just happened. I don't know. I'm glad that we're stuck with it now because once you hear it, you don't really forget it. So it's kind of good for branding. But yeah, so if I had known back then that it was going to end up becoming like a thing that people knew about, I probably would have come up with a different name. But I'm glad I didn't know that when I was younger because I'm glad we're stuck with it now.
It is unique. So I'm actually gonna skip a couple of questions here, and we'll jump back and forth. Everyone who's watching it, he already knows questions I'm gonna ask. I know all the fun's been ruined.
Ask whatever you want, man.
Well, all right. So I know in one of the I haven't watched all the Messy Mondays to be honest, but I have watched all the messages because I like how they used to be super sarcastic, and then you guys kind of toned it down. People were getting a little butthurt, and I understand. Um, all right. So one of the messages, someone asked what a fan base of Blimey Cow would be called, and then Jordan kind of threw a couple ideas out there, and then he's like Cowmunity, but he wasn't too serious. Well, so somebody took him serious and made a Cowmunity Facebook page,
Yes.
and I didn't know if you were aware of that or not.
Yes. Yeah, we've actually been in touch with the girl who runs that page. She's super awesome, and we make sure to let her know often that we're very appreciative that she makes all those memes for us and kind of has cultivated a community around our videos that we don't have to kind of be in charge of or whatever. She probably spends more time working on Facebook stuff than we do. So just very appreciative of her efforts and stuff.
From what I've noticed, she like watched the videos and every single joke, she's like, this is a meme, this is a meme, this is a
she
meme.
just sits there and after each video, she just makes memes of her favorite parts, and it's I don't know, man. Just like imagine that like you worked all week on something and then someone like made memes of like all the stuff that you thought was funny in the thing that you created.
Nah,
It's like the super honor every week. Like that's now part of my routine of making the videos. It's like, okay, now let's see what scene she thought funny. I'm so excited.
If she's watching this right now, I want to let you know that Geeks Under Grace has some videos, and you guys could do that to us too. We wouldn't mind. So I have an introverted friend, and she will go nameless, but she's in Canada, and she loves syrup intensely. But that unrelated. Now she knows what I'm talking about. I have an All right, so she said she's introverted, and she wants to know how you guys get over being introverted and post videos online for everyone to see, because that could be embarrassing.
Well, honestly, the internet is like an introvert's dream because you can say all the stuff that you think all the time without the threat of people like immediately being in your face and disputing what you're saying because you can always you always have the option of posting something and then just completely disregarding, ignoring any feedback you get about it. Whereas if you make a statement in real life, you can't just run the other way and not hear what people are saying in response. So I feel like it's more of a natural response to post things online. I know a lot of very introverted people who don't talk in real life, like hardly at all, that are incredibly vocal online.
Yeah.
So I feel like the internet has. I think that a lot of the like, oh, I can't think of the word, but the notoriety, like I feel like introvert is like a buzzword now that it used to not be, and I think a lot of the reason for that is because now people can go online and be like, oh yeah, I'm introverted, and people go, oh my gosh, I am too. I didn't think anybody else was until the internet kind of gave me this safe place to express myself. So on one hand, it's kind of like this cop out, like, oh yeah, well, I attribute everything in my life to the fact that I'm introverted, and that's why I'm this way or that way or whatever.
Yeah.
But there are, I mean, I understand like being legitimately being more comfortable just being at home, in your kind of routine than being out with other people. I know people that need that energy of being with other people, and I know people like myself and my wife who, can go a whole week and be like, did we leave the house? Like, what happened?
I hope so. I mean, how else are you making the videos?
Well, we shoot them at our house. That's part of the thing, man. I
Oh,
don't have
man.
to leave my house. I work from home.
For some reason, I thought they were at Jordan's house.
They used to be. We bought Kelly and I bought a house. My wife Kelly and I bought a house in February, and part of the requirements for said home was Kelly wanted a more spacious kitchen because we had a galley kitchen in the apartment.
Yeah.
And I just wanted a basement where I could just say, this is Blimey Cow HQ, and we can keep all the Blimey Cow stuff separate, and we can shoot in our house and stuff. And so we found a house that did both of those things. So we went ahead and bought it.
Wow, it sounds perfect.
It is perfect. It's wonderful. We're having a great time.
So someone else asked, how do you all handle criticism? I guess both positive and negative, but probably mostly negative.
Yeah, well, we actually do get some not positive criticism, but constructive criticism. We get that. I actually enjoy that more so than I used to. I've learned, that now that we've been doing this so long, that if we get, constructive criticism from people that I recognize, they've watched the videos for like so many years, it's like, okay, this is somebody who has invested in us and deems us like a trustworthy source of content. And if they have something to say, it's coming from a place of love rather than a place of, well, you know what, today I decided I hate you guys now. But constructive criticism is good. But destructive criticism, I kind of split it that way: the constructive criticism and destructive criticism. Constructive criticism is meant to build you up and help you out, even if it's not done in maybe the most like the best way possible. You kind of have to filter it and say, okay, what are they intending to say here rather than how I'm receiving it. But then destructive criticism is just coming from people who don't give a crap about you. They don't care. They just want to tear somebody down, and you happen to be the person in front of them that they're going to tear down. So that, after you've been, I don't know, you can talk to anybody who's been doing YouTube for longer than a year. At some point, you just
get hate.
It just rolls off the shoulder, man. Like you don't even take it into account anymore. In fact, you kind of enjoy it a little bit. It's in some kind of sick way. It's fun.
Golly, I can only imagine. We've only been around 5 months, and I haven't got any extreme hate yet, but I'm sure it'll happen
it's
one
coming,
day.
Man.
I'm sure as we get more people seeing us.
People are gonna watch this video and say, "Why? Who's that guy? Why are you having him on your show?"
I definitely don't live anywhere in America. Man. I live in Brazil. Come track me down.
You live in Brazil?
No, I don't live in Brazil.
Oh, okay.
Now everyone knows. I don't live in Brazil.
Sorry,
There's
man.
so many countries they can narrow it down to. All right, so our site, Geeks Under Grace, is geeky, so I have to ask some geeky questions.
I would love any geeky question you got, man.
Good, because Well, I had to tone down some of the questions because some of them I didn't even understand, and I write for the site. So I guess the basic one, like, what video game is your all-time favorite, no matter what?
Gotta go with Super Metroid. It's
How,
always gonna be my favorite game.
how dare you?
How dare I?
That's my favorite game.
Is it really?
No.
Don't live in
Do you
Brazil.
feel a little disappointed now?
Not really, because nobody's favorite game is Super Metroid. I feel like nobody played that game, but it's so good.
Mine's Mario 64. No matter what,
Oh,
that game never gets old.
That's a very good game.
Mm.
How old are you, man? If you
I'm
don't mind my asking?
24.
You're 24. Okay,
Yeah.
so we're about the same age. Okay.
I mean, next week's my birthday. If you want to
Oh,
remember
happy
it.
birthday, man. So
Do
we're
you
about-
see
so
that,
we're-
everybody? Blimey Cow said happy birthday.
So
Top-
you would have been.
Oh
well,
wait, I graduated.
6 or 7 years old when that game came out. Because it came out in '96.
Yeah, we got it along with Mario Kart 64. So whenever that
Right.
was.
Yeah, those are the two games, man.
Yeah.
Super Mario 64, Mario Kart, and Rogue Squadron,
We got Star Fox.
and Mario Party as well. Those are the best N64 games.
Yeah, we got Star Fox. My dad hated it, and he sold it, and then when
Oh, really?
yeah, and so I ended up getting it later because I loved it, and I think
That's
I played the game multiple times now.
That is Kelly's favorite video game of all time. It's
It's-
Star Fox 64.
It's hard to beat. They need to. Well, they are making another one next year, but that's for another time.
They're making a new Star Fox.
They
game?
are next year. It's coming out on Wii U.
Is it an actual Star
Yes,
Fox?
it
game
is.
where it's
That's exactly what I
around
wanted to
the
know.
planet doing all
And I
this
saw him flying it with the Wii U gamepad. It wasn't
Oh,
running around on the
goodness.
ground.
To tell Kelly she's gonna flip out. That's her favorite game, man.
There's no video footage of it yet.
Oh, okay. Oh, well, it's not coming next year.
It is. They said 2015.
buy it. I
Nintendo
don't
does
buy
not lie.
When you start seeing footage, the game is still like a year and a half, 2 years out.
Well, they showed it at E3,
They
so
showed
it could
some
be
kind
the
of-
end of 2015.
Okay, all right. Maybe Christmas 2015.
Yes, like over a year from now. Oh gosh, it's too
Yeah.
far away.
Yeah. But yeah, it was Super Metroid. Always been my favorite. I enjoy it. I just beat Donkey Kong Country 2, Diddy Kong's Quest for the first time the other day. 100%.
Don't
Where
play
I'm
the
not-
third one. Third one's so disappointing after those first two.
Are you kidding me?
I feel like it is. Doesn't
The
it have
third one's
Donkey
the best
Kong or
one
Diddy
of all.
Kong or
The
anybody?
third one is the best one of them
Ugh.
all. What? Explain to
Ugh.
me. Why is it not good?
It doesn't have Diddy Kong or Donkey Kong, and I'm very biased about
Yeah, but
that.
it doesn't matter who the characters
It
are. It's all
does.
about the gameplay. No. It's actually the best in terms of characters because it's the best contrast between them because you have I can't think of his name.
Exactly. My point's been made, everybody.
I can't think of the baby's name, but anyways, he's a larger one, and so
Yeah.
you can use him to hit things, and then this Dixie, you can twirl her hair so she can fly. In the second game, they're both the same size, so Diddy runs a little bit faster. But anyways, is it Diddy?
Diddy
I can't
Kong is the little
Diddy Kong is the nephew or whatever.
yeah, because then he has his own racing game later.
Right. The third game is the best in terms of how it's laid out and all the secrets and stuff like that. It's the best. I don't understand the hate for that game. I don't understand why people think that that's the worst one. It's definitely the best. I spent the most time with it in my life. I probably played that game more than any other game in my entire life.
That is insane.
Every-
How does
every-
Super Metroid top that game then? Is your favorite?
Super Metroid because it's like having a movie that you've seen the most, but then having a movie that every time you finish it, you're like, this is the best movie I've ever seen in my life. But you can't just binge watch it all the time.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, because then it
I could
ruins
watch-
it.
I could watch
Courageous.
some comedy movie that I like. I could watch Bruce Almighty probably every day and still think that movie is funny
Mhm.
and a good movie, but it's not my favorite movie.
That's true.
Movies that I really like, I can't just watch all the time. I have to prepare my mind every year or so. Okay, now I'm gonna watch this movie. So every couple of years, I play Donkey Kong Country 3 and really enjoy it again. But Super Metroid, man, oh my gosh, have you played Super Metroid?
I have, and
Oh, it's so good.
I stopped playing for 2 weeks, came back to it, and got lost. I was like, what was I even doing?
Dude, that game is like the epitome of a good game because it tells a story without any dialogue. It tells you everything that's going on without even having to talk to you and explain what's happening.
Did you ever play the Metroid ones that were on the Game Boy Advance?
I played a little Fusion. I only
Fusion.
had a Game Boy Advance for a very little bit. I sold it.
Fusion was like Super Metroid, and I
Yeah,
played through that
yeah.
like 3 times, so I know I like the games. It's just Super Metroid I got lost.
Man, it's so good. I promise you it's worth. Do you know how Super Metroid ends? Like
I feel like
how?
this is spoiler alert.
Well, I'm not gonna explain it to you, but
Okay, good.
it's worth playing the game
Hmm.
for how good the ending is. Like it's so good. It's so good.
And that's why everyone was crying for another Metroid game for so long.
Dude, it's time, man. It's been a few years. It's time. I don't care what kind of Metroid game we get. It's just time
I
for
don't
another.
know. Did you play other M? Because after that,
I've played some of it. I haven't beat that one yet. I don't think it deserves all the criticism it got. But I definitely see why people had a problem with
if
it.
they just cut the cutscenes, it'd be perfect.
Yeah, I'm not really a big fan of just like gameplay cutscene.
Yeah,
But
that's how
some
that
some
was.
some games do it better than others.
On that note, cutscenes. No, actually, I have no segue. So, another question I have: if Blimey Cow was to ever become a blockbuster comedy movie with a huge
Uh-huh.
budget, who would play all three? Who would play who?
Oh man.
Like, what actor in Hollywood or that you know of in a movie or a TV show would
I
play
think I
Jordan?
want Tom Hanks to play me.
Obviously, I
I
see the
want
connection.
Brad Pitt to play Jordan, and
You gotta
get
be tricky on the Kelly one. She's
we'll
gonna
we'll
see
get
this.
we'll get Emma Stone to play Kelly because that's her. No wait, is it Emma Stone?
From Spider-Man, the new Spider-Man.
No, wrong actress. Watson, Emma Watson, the one from Harry
So
Potter.
we want a 50-year-old man to play you, like a late
Mm-hmm.
30s, early 40s man to play Jordan, and
Hmm.
then a girl in her 20s to play Kelly.
That's exactly right.
And I feel like this is set up for something.
It's good. It's good. That's real filmmaking, right there, making that work.
Can Brad Pitt do the sarcasm? That's the question.
Yeah, I think he can. I think he's actually well equipped for that. He's good. Have you seen him in Tarantino movies? He's very funny.
I saw him in Inglourious Bastards, but I don't remember him being very
That's one of my favorite movies, man.
sarcastic.
That's so good.
Nobody
he's
here is telling anybody watching Inglourious Bastards, by the way. We're just saying we might have seen it at one time or another.
I love that movie.
Shh, don't tell anybody. Now I gotta edit that out. I'm just kidding, I'm not editing that out. If you don't mind. Oh, wait, that's how I wrote it. So I asked some of the guys on the Facebook page that we have if they had any questions for you guys, not telling them that we actually had interviews. They were just kind of spitballing. And one of them wanted to know what exactly goes into making a Messy Monday video, such as time editing.
Yeah, so I spend some time every week kind of writing out the script. Sometimes it just takes me a few hours. Other times it kind of takes all week. Then get it all set up and go downstairs into the basement where we got everything set up and we shoot. And it normally takes between 2 and 3 hours to shoot a video. And then Jordan goes in and rough edits the video. So he basically takes all the raw footage and trims it down to just the good takes, basically, and puts it in chronological order.
Yeah.
And then I go in and I tighten it up and I add the music and the graphics and just kind of make it what you see on YouTube. And then from there I send the audio files to my friend Kevin McCreary, and he makes it sound the way that it sounds on YouTube. And he sends it back to me. I export the whole thing. All in all, it's probably a 48-hour process.
Wow, just for the 3-4 minute video?
That's it, man.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
That's the hustle every week. So I mean, I say it takes 2 days, but I mean, like actual like time, like while I'm sitting there doing it, it's probably. I mean, it feels like it takes an entire day out of the week to get everything done.
I think anybody else who's ever edited a video knows what you mean.
Yeah, well, with a show like Messy Mondays, it's not super complicated. But because it's not complicated, you can have fun with it. So I try and add like little jokes that people that have watched for a long time will get, or just small things that
like little hashtags in the bottom. I started seeing those.
Yeah, like that kind of thing. That kind of stuff takes a little bit more time to like, because it's not just editing; it's also like developing jokes and developing pacing and stuff like that. But that part of the editing process I enjoy. But adding graphics and doing all that kind of stuff, text on the screen. I'm not really super into all that, but that's just a part of, that's part of editing. Like you said,
Mhm.
anybody who does editing knows that's just, it goes with it, man.
Somebody wanted to know, and I don't know why, but they wanted to know what audio and video equipment you guys use. I guess maybe because they want to do similar videos. I'm not
Yeah.
sure.
So we use a Canon 7D for video, and for the audio, I use a Rode NTG1 microphone. It's a
Hmm.
boom shotgun mic, or a boom mic, and connect that into a Zoom H4n audio recorder. And that audio recorder has phantom power into it, and the boom mic is a condenser, so it needs phantom power. So that works out, and then I dump the footage and put the audio. So the audio and video are actually recorded separately,
Hmm.
and then in post, I go in with the program called Pluralize 3,
Hmm.
and it syncs up all my audio and video for me, and then I use Final Cut 7. Jordan uses Final Cut 7, and then I use Final Cut 7 to edit the footage.
Is there anything like Final Cut 7 for PC? Because I'm not buying a Mac for
Dude,
Final Cut,
I
but
I tell you what, man. Anybody who ever says that they do want to do any kind of video editing, I tell them, like, unless you are a genius at building computers
mhm.
yourself, or you know somebody who will do it for you, just get a Mac. Just get a Mac, because it runs quicker. Which, if you've ever done audio editing or video editing, the most frustrating thing is having a slow computer.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
bar none, you can't. It just makes it impossible. You don't even want to do it. So, like, there's enough frustrations with editing aside from having to work with a slow computer. Like,
yeah.
working with a very fast computer is still frustrating. So you don't want to have to deal with that too. So I just say, man, just, Macs are just really good. That's what I've used mostly for the last almost 10 years. I use PC when I work with my dad, because I don't just do Blimey Cow stuff. I work with my
Hmm.
dad doing patent drawings too, and I use a PC for that. And I'm constantly having to, like, restart the computer from scratch, and to speed it back up and stuff. And yeah, so I just always tell people, just get a Mac. I'm not a PC versus Mac guy. Like, I see
Hmm. The
see
debates. Yeah.
merits of both. Um, but if someone put a gun to my head and said you got to choose one, I'd pick a Mac
That's a
every day.
weird situation. You must be at the Apple store. Someone's putting a gun
Say
to your
what?
head.
What do you say?
I said that's a weird situation. Someone's putting a gun to your head.
What? I know. It's a very extreme hypothetical, but if that happened, that is what I would do.
All right. Well, yeah, because someone also asked what editing program you use, but we answered that
Oh, by the
question.
way, you can to answer your question, you can get Adobe Premiere
Yeah, that's what I've
for
heard.
audio, video editing. And if you get their Creative Cloud service, it comes with Audition, which is a good
Hmm.
audio editor as well, and several other programs that are good for post production for videos. That's probably your best option when you're using a PC. But again, I can't imagine. I can't the PC I use. I cannot imagine installing video editing software on this computer and then video editing on this computer. I would probably kill myself. Like, it would frustrate the heck out of me.
All right. Well, that's good to know because I'm my videos will need some editing, as someone out on our site will tell you. Beyond my movie maker skills, which I think are
Ah,
pretty
yes,
top
good old
notch.
movie maker. Yep.
So I guess, are there any other YouTube channels like Blimey Cow that we should subscribe to? I know you guys have a vlog channel. I ran
We
across that this morning actually.
Yeah, we haven't updated that in a long time. We actually kind of moved that over to our Patreon campaign.
Hmm.
So we upload vlogs to our Patreon
That's a
uh,
segue, by the way.
campaign. That's a segue. But in terms of other channels to subscribe to, if you enjoy the kind of style that we do, which I don't even know really how you describe it, but might enjoy I'm sorry, Say Goodnight Kevin.
Hmm.
Is one of them. That's my buddy who does our audio editing. His name is Kevin McCreary. His channel is youtube.com/SayGoodnightKevin. And he just launched this year. He's really funny. He's been kind of blowing up quick, so we're really excited for him. And also check out The Third Pew. He's my buddy Nathan. He's an honest talker. He'll tell you things like it is. He's a little more harsh than we are,
Mm-hmm.
but if you're into that kind of thing, he's super funny. And those are the YouTube channels that I feel morally that I can that keep their content relatively clean.
Yeah.
And aren't like using profanity and such all the time.
Yeah,
So,
which is important because a lot of YouTube can be iffy and you don't even know what you're getting into sometimes when you watch a video.
it's true. It's true. Yeah. So
Somebody also asked, will you guys ever appear at any YouTube conventions? Because I'm guessing they would like to shake your hand and probably
yeah,
squeal like a little girl.
I don't know, man. I mean, I'm sure at some point we'll end up at one. It just doesn't sound that fun to me to be in a huge crowd of people and be stressed out and have to like fly out somewhere and do that and it sounds expensive.
Especially
I mean,
from Nashville. You guys aren't even close to California at all.
I mean, if they had a YouTube con in Nashville, absolutely we would go.
Yeah.
But if we ever got invited to one, I'm sure we would probably do it. But you know, you hear about YouTubers that like pay to go do it, and it's like it doesn't sound that fun to me. Like it's so funny. Like these kids from all these different states every year will be like, "Hey, are you going to VidCon?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Are you going to VidCon?" I look at their information. They're like from like North Carolina or like New York or something like that. I'm like, what? You're like 15. How are your parents paying?
They just want to know that you were there, so that if they were there, they would have seen you.
I don't know, man. I think people have a lot of money apparently.
I don't know.
Can fly their kids to California to go to a YouTube convention. I don't know, man.
It's like the Comic-Con for YouTube, isn't it?
I guess, but it just feels strange. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure we'll end up at one eventually, and I'll eat all my words. But
when you guys start selling out to
we already sell out.
I as everybody knows, Audible Nature Box. By the way,
I'm telling you, man.
I have a Nature Box sitting on top of my fridge.
Do you really?
I do.
It's
you guys convinced me because I saw the one video.
So you got it through our link?
Yeah.
Oh, well, thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Because Jordan's like, even Josh is eating it, and I'm like, well, if Josh is eating it, well, I guess everyone's eating it.
Yeah, man, I've lost 17 pounds so far in the last month, a little over a month, and I've been eating those Nature Boxes too, man. That's one of the only snacks I afford myself.
I just have the awkward image of you eating it ingrained in my brain. And one day at work, I was like, I'm looking this thing up. So I did the /cow thing because I know how that works. And yep, I've done 2 boxes so far.
Oh, well, thanks. That's awesome, man. I'm so glad that you're enjoying it. Yeah, we only, you know, I mean, people think, oh gosh, blah blah blah. You know, I mean, not everybody, but some people complain like, oh, I can't believe that they do sponsorships and blah blah blah.
I mean, they can exit out of the video. It's at the end of the video. It's not like you guys are doing the middle.
It's a thing of like, I mean, people don't realize that like we get offered to like talk about things and get paid to do it and stuff, and we turn them down because there are things that we think, you know what, no one is going to actually believe that we would use this. You know what I mean? But Audible is something that we have subscribed to or currently subscribe to in some cases, and Nature Box, we all eat Nature Box all the time.
So you're only
we just make sure that everything that we talk about on the show are things that we either use on a daily or weekly basis or that we have tried. Like, you know, in some cases, like, you know, we got a sponsorship with Warby Parker at some point, and they're like a glasses company. Obviously, you're not buying glasses every week.
No.
But, you know, we got to try them on and check it out. Like, yeah, these are great glasses. We don't have a problem talking about this and encouraging people to check it out because it's a cheaper option. So yeah, it's just, you know, it's that balance, man. It's always that balance of you know, paying your bills and trying to keep your credibility and stuff, and then always just having haters that are just gonna, you know, like I said, it's a
you guys have sold out. That's like a big head kid
exactly
it's waiting to happen.
But I'm like, hey man, if someone came to you and said, hey, all you got to do is talk about this product that you already are using, and we'll give you money. No, man.
No, I'm not a sellout.
Like, yeah, right.
You know what? Every time at the beginning of the video, it'll say, we're sponsored by Audible. And I'm like, oh yeah, Audible. And then the video will happen. I'll forget about Audible. And then Jordan does some nasty segue. well, not nasty, like a really slick segue I don't see coming, and I'm like, how did I forget about Audible? How did I not see this coming? Because it was like the one where college is starting, like 3 or 4 months ago. He's like, oh, you're about to start college. Well, I was like, how did I not see that coming?
Oh yeah.
Every time, and I know because at the beginning of the video it tells you.
That's funny.
But it gets me every. I don't know why. I gotta be on
Yeah,
the lookout
we have
for it
fun
now.
on Jordan's messages. We have a lot of fun, like coming up with goofy segues into the Audible.
Yeah, how long do those take? Because those don't require the same amount of effort.
Oh,
as...
they take like no time.
Yeah, like you
I just
kind of
pick out questions and we just turn on the camera. We see what happens.
How
It's
do
like the
you-
easiest show to put together.
Yeah,
So
how do you pick
people,
the
if people,
questions?
as long as people enjoy it, we'll keep doing it.
How do you pick the questions for that?
I just go through and I just try and think. Okay, I just know Jordan really well, so I think would Jordan come up with something funny for this, or if I come up with something that might be kind of funny, I think, oh, I'll just remember to tell Jordan maybe he could say something like this.
Because sometimes it seems like Jordan's really confused about what you're telling him.
Yeah, well, most of the time, I mean, sometimes we redo a take again if like something funny happened and then he starts laughing or something.
Yeah, and he has like a smirk on his face going into the question.
Yeah,
you know something funny had happened.
Sometimes we let it go because it was really funny and just like use that take. But most of the time, like I'll turn on the camera record and I'll read in the question for the first time, and you're actually getting his like real reaction. Like it's not staged or anything. You're getting his real reaction to the question. And you know, a lot of the questions that I use are like poorly worded or they contain grammatical errors. It was just confusing to understand what the question was. So
yeah, you know what? And I noticed when I sent you these questions that I misspelled Blockbuster, and I was like, I'm really glad this wasn't a message.
Notice.
I know, but like I saw it, I'm like, that's message waiting to happen right there. I was being messy. All right, so you brought Patreon earlier, so I guess what is Patreon? I've watched the video, but most people probably don't know what it is.
Yeah. So if you're familiar with the website called Kickstarter, it's kind of like an ongoing Kickstarter campaign. Basically, we just have a page on this website called Patreon.com, and you can find it at Patreon.com/Blimey Cow. And basically, it's basically you're making like a monthly donation to help us continue making the videos that we're making. And in return, we kind of bring you into our little, like, somewhat of like an inner circle, basically, where you get exclusive like vlog videos and audio commentaries on Messy Mondays that we don't release to the public. We've got like a Facebook creative team private group that helps us brainstorm ideas for the show and stuff like that. And we do monthly live streams as well. So I don't know. It's been really neat and really fun. And we've been able to, you know, keep it so that it doesn't feel like, you know, you have to be a patron in order to like feel like you're still a member of like our community, our greater community. We try to make sure that, you know, if you don't have the money to help us out, you know, we still are doing all the things we are already doing. But if you do want to help us out and kind of like, you know, make it easier for us to do this all the time, well, we'll give you some extra stuff, some behind the scenes stuff that we're, you know, we'll take a little bit extra time to kind of let you in on the kind of stuff we're doing, because since we have this extra income, we can afford to spend a little extra time letting you guys in on what we're doing. So yeah, it's been really fun, and we've got a sizable amount of money coming in monthly from there. We're just very grateful, and it's been a lot of fun so far.
So I saw on Patreon that like the biggest stretch goal, I want to say it was 5,000. I might be wrong.
5,000.
5,000, and you guys are going full time. And obviously, I don't have Jordan's, you know, phone number to text him and ask him what that means. So I figured I'd ask you now. What does full time mean for Blimey Cow?
Full time for Blimey Cow basically means that I quit my day job, working on patent drawings and stuff. And we basically just kind of every morning we all wake up and just say, what are we doing with Blimey Cow today? And it's not like that right now. You know, we put out the one video, and like I said, you know, it's a by the time it's all said and done, I've probably spent like 3 days to some degree or another, portions of 3 days, and one day in there that was like the full day, working on the video that we put out, Messy Mondays. But if we just put that on there because we were like, okay, feasibly, could we live on that much money?
Is Kelly aware that you'd quit your job?
Say what?
Is she in on this? Does she know you're gonna quit your job?
Who? Oh, my wife.
Yeah.
Yes, we've talked extensively about it.
You know, sometimes people don't know until it happens. You're like, I quit my job, and she's
It's
like,
true. Yep, she heard about it for the first time when she saw the Patreon page. Oh, just kidding.
I figured she knew about it. All right, so the last question I have, I'm not sure if you guys play Pokemon or not, or have ever
A
played
little
Pokemon.
bit, yeah.
I just want to know who would win in a Pokemon battle between you and Jordan, if Jordan even plays Pokemon.
I think I would get the early victory, but then Jordan would regroup, strategize, and then just mop the floor with me any other time we played after my initial victory.
He'd figure out your strategy.
Yeah, because that's how most competitions between the two of us go. So I don't think a Pokemon battle would be any different.
So you'd have to just quit when you're on top. I won once. That's it. We're
That's
done.
basically what I have to do, man. That is the life of me. If you wanted to know.
All right, so that's all the questions I got. Do you have anything else to add?
Man, I just want everyone to know that you're just a super handsome guy and just really nice. That they should all check out your website.
All the chicks better be paying attention to what he just said. I'm just.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll leave links on the article and in the video, or in the and the YouTube video description thing to your guys' Patreon and stuff like that.
Cool.
And whatever else, because I'm totally sucking up. Yeah, toads and obs.
Yeah,
People
just
hate when I say
yeah.
that.
If you haven't checked out our channel, just check us out. And if you enjoy the videos, cool. If not, I get it. Not for everybody, but if you do like it, would love to have you subscribe and keep in touch with us. Tweet us at Blimey Cow, and we'll get in touch with you. And we have fun.